Hello everybody. Okay, so this is Mr. White and it is September the 18th, and what we're going to do now is I'm going to take up the quiz that you had in class. Now this quiz is looking at multi-step solving equations, and we're going to have ones that require us to clear the fractions. So this is a good thing for all of us to know. We're going to have a test coming up shortly, so let's take a look at what we need to know for today. So solve each. A. 3 bracket x plus 6 equals 2 bracket x minus 1. So we're going to make use of something called the distributive property. Distributive property. We're going to take that 3 and we're going to multiply it inside. We're going to take that 2 and we're going to multiply it inside the brackets. And you got to remember that this 3 goes to each and every term inside the bracket, and this 2 goes to each and every term inside the bracket. I can explain why if you want very quickly. What I'll do is I'll take another piece of paper, I'll put it here, and what's actually happening here, not that I ever want you to do this, but it's certainly the logic of the situation. This is actually x plus 6 plus x plus 6 plus x plus 6, and this is actually x minus 1 plus x minus 1. Notice that there's 3 of them here. That's what 3x plus 6 means. Multiplication is just rapid addition. And 2 x minus 1s means x minus 1 plus x minus 1. So if you look at this, you got 1, 2, 3 x's, and you've got 1, 2, 3 6's, which is going to be 18. And over here, you've got 1, 2 x's, and you've got negative 1, and negative 1 is negative 2. Now, I do not expect you to do it this way, but that's what's happening. The short way of doing it is to look up here and use the distributive property. Make sure that 3 goes in to give you 3x, and that 3 goes in to give you 18. Over here, the 2 goes in to give you 2x, and we have to remember the 2 times the negative 1 gives us the negative 2. So, notice our answer here, notice our answer here, they're the same. So the next step is to collect like terms. So what we want to do is we want to put like terms on each side of the equation. So I've got 3x plus 18. If I took 18 away from this side, the 18 would be gone, and I'd be taking 18 away from here. If I take the 2x and subtract 2x on this side, I'd get rid of the 2x, but I'd also have to subtract 2x over here. So we boil that down to just writing, which the shortcut way of thinking about it is the 18 comes over. It was positive on this side, it goes over as negative. The 2x comes over, it was positive on this side, it goes over as negative. Remember, that's not really what's happening. We're taking 18 away from this side, and we're taking 2x away from this side and this side, leaving us with a grand answer of negative 20. And that's it. Now, something I didn't ask you to do on here, but I have a captive audience, so I'm going to show you how we can check this. We're going to check our answer, x equals negative 20. You're going to do that by taking a left-hand side and a right-hand side. So my left-hand side of the equation is 3x plus 6, and the right-hand side of the equation is 2x minus 1, and they're supposed to equal. Okay? So if we take x equals negative 20 and sub it in, we get 3, negative 20 plus 6, 3, negative 14. So that'll be negative 42. Now, I'm not too sure on that, and I got no problems with calculators, and I don't think you guys should either. So I'm going to grab mine. Someone's taken it off my desk. And so I'm going to do 14 times 3, and look at that, it is negative 42. Now, if I take negative 20 and plug it in here, and I come up with 2, negative 21, negative 21 times 2 is negative 42. Notice these two answers are equal to each other. What that means is, therefore, x equals negative 20 is a solution. It is correct. It works. It allows left-hand side to equal right-hand side. Now, we haven't talked a lot about checks. We've done 1 or 2 in class. This is something that I will expect from you, so please take a look at that. It was not required for this quiz. All right, let's look at the next question. Now, this one's getting interesting. we want to do something called clearing the fractions. See these guys? These denominators? Yeah, we don't like them too much. They're going to cause us some problems, and we'd love a way to get rid of them. The way to get rid of them is to find some number that we can multiply everything by that they will divide into evenly. That number's 12. The LCD is 12. Why is it 12? Because if I take 12 and divide it by 4, I get a nice even number of 3. And if I take 12 and divide it by 3, I get a nice even number of 4. So I'm going to use this. I'm going to multiply both sides of the equation by 12. Now, multiplying both sides of the equation by 12 is the same as multiplying each and every term by 12. So that's what this is. Okay? You can kind of think about that as the distributive property again. I'm distributing that times by 12 to both this term and to this term. And I got to make sure to keep the equality, so I keep the 12 on this side. Now, the whole reason why we did this is for this happening. Now, that caused a lot of problem for kids, and we talked about that a great deal. What's happening here is this is actually 12 over 1. This is actually 12 over 1, and we're reducing 12 by 3. So we're doing 12 divided by 3, and we're doing 12 divided by 4. That gives you a new equation that's much easier to solve. 3k minus 12 times 2 equals 4 times negative 4. This equation is equivalent to this equation. They will give you the same values, the same answers. However, they no longer have any denominators. So we have done something that I like to call clearing the fractions. And you do that by multiplying every term by the LCD and reducing. Okay? So that's a pretty important concept. What we have now is we're going to solve this. So I've got 3k negative 24 equals negative 16. Please don't say negative 8. That would be a silly mistake. 3k equals negative 16. Now, to get rid of the negative 24 on this side, I would add 24. Therefore, that'd be gone. But I got to add 24 over here. And again, why chance it? Why not make sure we get the right answer? 24 minus 16 is 8. 3k equals 8. Now, this says 3 times k equals 8. 3 times k equals 8. What's the opposite of timesing by 3? Dividing by 3. So if I divide this side by 3, I get rid of the 3. But I got to remember to divide that side by 3. And that answer is just as good, and in fact better, than this answer. Okay? Because this is an accurate answer. This is rounded. That last 6 has been rounded up to a 7. That's what your calculator will give you. This is a better answer. Please leave it as 8 over 3. And you certainly do not have to change it to this. Okay? We don't need it to be put into mixed fraction form. We'll leave it as 8 over 3. Okay, guys, that was your quiz. Hope you did well. Go over that material again. Remember, your quiz was taken from your homework, and your homework yesterday was simply page 170, number 4, ABC, number 5, AEJ, which means one of these is from 4, one of these is from 5. If you want to do a little bit extra, and I suggest that you all do, complete questions number 4. I think that gives you 3 others to do, and number 5. And again, that'll give you 3 others to do, and check in the back of the book. Okay, kids, have a good night. Remember to show your parents the LMS. If you haven't shown them, call them over right now, and have a good evening.